All right, as good a time as any to get started, considering the timer's running up. But anyways, hello, welcome back to the stream, all who frequent. Man, just man, that's really the only commentary I can initially offer. As per the Twitter post, it's just like there's so much shit going on in the world. Uh, man, it's just one of those days, it seems. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can't find a room, and I will talk about some stuff in the meantime. So, I could just go down the list. In fact, maybe I'll just do that. I'll start at the top, from the top. Why not? Ugh. Some of this stuff is news items. Nude, yes. News in the nude. I will not do this. That would get me banned. Um, most of this stuff is news items, and there's a couple things that you could argue aren't. Well, the first thing isn't, but it's like a new political trend, new social trend, and whatever that I think warrants talking about. It's come up in news stories, but it is not itself one news story. So that's what's what. I'm gonna gather my thoughts a little bit on it. Okay, AI. You guys know what AI is, right? Kind of. I mean, like everybody kind of has an understanding. It's the silly haha, generate image of a person and they have some fucked up fingers and whatever. Look, AI has a lot of different implications, right? It has good implications and it also has bad implications. But I think because of the political environment and the well, capitalist system that we live in, most of what's going to be like prominent with AI is the really bad implications. And a lot of what I've seen online indicate that AI content, like AI generated stuff, is a fucking cancer, right? Um, Particularly what I'm thinking of. There are a couple things that I'm thinking of. First off, I want to talk about the like people who were making AI porn of of Taylor Swift and some other people. That's really bad. I shouldn't have to explain why that's bad. It is a non-consensual pornographic depiction of a given person. It's basically tantamount to revenge porn. You could argue. AI porn is kind of like revenge porn. You are sharing sexually illicit or explicit sometimes material of somebody without their consent. Most of the time, the intent behind this is pretty malicious. It's pretty bad. Um, but there's another side of that that's been happening recently. A lot of people, as a sort of reaction to that, um, most of the people that frequently do the AI generated stuff have decided, well, what if we did it the other way? What if we took a picture of a woman who's wearing some I don't know, revealing clothing, take a selfie in the mirror, and what if we gave her more modest clothing, right? Now, the meek-minded, the weak-willed of you out there will see that and think, oh, well, that's good. No, it isn't. Get owned, random caricature of a person that I've made up in my head. Thank you. That's also not good, because the in this case, there's an original image that's being altered for the benefit of somebody else, like somebody I follow on sex, yes, on Twitter, who is a sex worker, pointed out the very real problem with this, with the like covering women up after the fact in photos that they take of themselves, which is that both the AI porn, stripping people down in an image after the fact, and the Sharia law AI stuff, where you add clothing on top of a person who's showing skin in a photo, fundamentally deprive women of the ability to express themselves on the internet. And theoretically, this could be the case for men who take photos of themselves as well and are subject to this, but realistically, this would mostly apply to women, you know? And for that, I think that, like, AI is a blight on the internet. Like, already AI is kind of like slop content, where, like, there's not much artistic thought or intent that actually gets put into it. It's in some ways it's just really depressing, because the ease of access to something that you could use to make art has been reappropriated by capitalists to deprive artists of the ability to do their thing, deprive people of the ability to express themselves, basically to, at the same time, sanitize and also, like, dirty the experience of the internet for everybody. It's really not good. But that's just the you know, Freudian sex implications of AI. I haven't even mentioned the more typical political implications of it, which are also significant. This is, like, only related through the sense that this is about AI content, but recently it's becoming more and more common for AI deepfakes and AI voice replacement and, like, AI to be a thing in politics and fundraising and campaigning and all that. Which is also really bad. Yeah, dang. Then after this is another one. So, AI deepfakes of politicians, AI disinfo, basically. A lot of AI generated content has been circulating of like I remember seeing some about Pakistani politicians in the wake of their elections over there, and, you know, AI robocalls of Joe Biden and other American politicians telling people to do X, Y, or Z. This is going to create a disinformation hellscape going forward in the 21st century if AI isn't regulated, if it's not basically if it's not cracked down on with the full force of law behind it. It's not going to be good, you know. And in addition to politics, there's also gaming and advertising have been affected by AI content. I saw recently an image of a AI generated Minecraft image of the Roman Colosseum. Ordinarily, I would look at that and feel like, wow, that's really cool that somebody built that. But no, somebody just inputted the proper commands into an AI to say, hey, build this historical landmark. And the AI just generated an image without a person having to do anything. You see, what makes Minecraft builds impressive is the knowledge that somebody had to go in there and ultimately build that by hand, block by block, right? Even if it's like using an MC editing tool and whatever, ultimately you do still have to place those blocks, even if it's in the editor and then you plunk it into a Minecraft world later. You know, it's like Legos. You have to, at some level, you have to assemble it yourself. Or somebody had to have assembled it themselves. And then, you know, you go take to the internet and you show it off to everybody. But then AI deprives the only thing that, you know, makes Minecraft builds especially impressive. You know, it's a genuine. It's a. It is a killer of artistic achievement. No, I'm dead. Uh, um, so that's the gaming aspect of things. But then there's also the advertising and television aspect of things. I recently saw just the most ridiculous, one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen, which was a an ad, I believe, for like McDonald's or someplace, where they had an image. You know, they have that like clearly curated image of a burger that looks way better than McDonald's burgers actually look. But at the bottom of the picture, there's a little label that said AI generated. You know, so it wasn't even theoretically a actual picture of a burger. It was just something that they put in like, yeah, AI, make a hamburger that looks really delicious. And the AI was like, okay, and it did its best. And it's just to me it's like it's really hollowing. I don't know. It doesn't provide a good image for what's in store for the 21st century, where it just seems like dead internet theory is going to prevail. The whole like genuine media landscape for artistic creation is dying in favor of just the random short spurt eye catching AI stuff that gets very quick engagement and in the short term bolsters the bottom line of the internet companies and the advertisers that they partner with. Even if it means that there are systemic issues of revenge porn, issues of basically like weirdo reactionaries doing like Sharia law stuff where it's like, oh, we don't think you should be wearing this, so we're gonna cover you up. Even if it means like all of the cool works of art are not actually works of art, they're just images that an AI has created out of a facsimile of what people have drawn elsewhere. Even if it means that the advertisements that you're seeing are not even images of the actual product, but are just AI generations of what they think would look eye-catching as a platonic version of that product. And even if it means that like the internet just becomes a minefield of political disinformation, where AI Joe Biden and Donald Trump will tell you to do completely contradictory things within their own dialogue, and like uh, as reactionary as this sounds, I do genuinely think that like putting AI in the hands of companies was a massive mistake. Like introducing it in the way that it was just a terrible mistake. And we're already seeing some of the worst fallout consequences that it's having for the whole social media landscape, and pretty soon that it could have for the whole internet, like at large. Ow! Holy shit! That guy was booking it. Dead. Give me this item. I'm gonna start using this, I think. Let's see. Anyway, those are my thoughts on the state of AI on the internet right now. Once I'm done with this race, I'll probably get into the next thing. Oh no! Damn it. I have to use this. Also driving really bad so far. I'm gonna use my star here. Yes! Shock dodge. Oh wow, I somehow got second after all that. Item usage saved me there, I think. I'll keep going for another race in this normal worldwide run. The other things that I saw were mostly directly related to breaking news and things like that. Let's start actually with something I saw from a German news outlet. Let's was there any other context for this? No, I think this would be just fine. So this is from Der Spiegel. Der Spiegel Politics. I had to translate this page from German to English because I can't read German. You see, this is a common problem that Americans encounter, is that we mostly speak English. Anyways, so the AfD is a Nazi party. I was informed of this recently. You know, crazy, I know, I'm just hearing about this. But they seem to be really leaning into it as of late. So we have here, the headline reads, participants in the AfD hike are said to have fabled about ghettos for Jews and work camps. Yeah. RTL reporters went undercover on a hike organized by the AfD youth organization in Saxony. According to the report, participants expressed openly right-wing extremist and anti-Semitic sentiments. Yeah, big surprise considering it's the far-right party, you know? The Office for the Protection of the Constitution, the entire AfD youth organization, Junge Alternative? I don't know if that's like a mistranslation or if that is actually what's supposed to read. Basically, exactly what happened in the in the headline is, you know, what happened. That the members of this youth league were actually were discussing ideas about, you know, what do we do with the Jews? What do we do about the Jewish population in Germany? And they mentioned things like putting Jews in ghettos, and also, I believe deporting them was something that came up as well. Just the most normal policy positions that you've ever seen, you know, naturally. That bullet bill did wonders for me. Ow! What the? I thought that was gonna miss. One mushroom in 11, huh? I'm now in 5th with a red shell, huh? Ah, you missed. Dude, there's people karting? You guys are god gamers. I need a mushroom. Whatever happens, I need a mushroom here. And I'm not gonna get one. Unless... Never mind. Okay, well, get back to the story here. Let's see. Let's see. Reporters went on an undercover hike. Went undercover on a hike organized by the AFD Youth Wing last November. According to the report, participants spoke about the ghettoization of Jews, labor camps for people of foreign origin, and similar topics that are common in right-wing extremist circles. The solution with the Jews, very sus framing, would be to assign them an area where they can all go. One participant is quoted as saying in the video, according to the RTL Memorial Protocol, looking for volunteers to shoot women and children even if necessary. Then it's all about people of foreign origin. They should be put in the ghettos. There should be a residential and a working ghetto. Entry and exit will be controlled, and people will be fed enough, but not excessively. The goal is for them to get so comfortable with it that at some point they can go back to the land of their ancestors. Basically, yeah, until we can deport you, we're going to house you in ghettos and make you want to leave Germany. When asked how one should deal with an aggressive reaction from those imprisoned, one participant said that there must be a certain willingness to use violence. As a state, I would look for volunteers who are prepared to shoot women and children if necessary. So, it's just happening again. It's just happening again. We have the Nazi Party too. Like, at this point, how are you even going to deny, what's pretty plainly evident, right? Like, you couldn't come up with a more apt comparison to Nazis if you tried. Like, you would have a hard time coming up with something that was more fitting of a Nazi party. It's like, no, we're not Nazis. We just believe literally everything that the Nazis believed, including their views on Jews. Oh, what? Huh, okay. This is actually a good spot to be going into lap 3, I think. Give me this. Yeah, that's good. I would like a dodge item, though. Let's see. Try my luck here. Oh, well, that works. I could have gone worse. I don't think it went especially well, but, This is a good room. A really good room. I'm gonna stick with it for a bit. What did Karl Marx say about history repeating itself? The first time it repeats itself is as tragedy, and the second time is as a farce, or whatever. I don't know if this is the first or second time, but it's definitely got elements of both. I think I was right to say that, God, German politics are so fucking cooked, right? Like, you take a look at their electoral breakdown, and they have 4 or 5 far-right parties, like a joke of a left-wing party, a joke of a green party, and, centrist liberals. And that's it. That's German politics. And then the AFD is the biggest not-in-power political party, and they're talking like this. Come on, dude. It might be Jover for Deutschland. Oh wow, look at this. Even more Nazi talking points. In addition, according to the report, there was a discussion about how the healthy population could be maintained. A married couple must have at least 4 children, at least 3 of whom must live past the age of 5. So this was another this was something that doesn't get talked about all that much, But the Nazis were fucking obsessed with the traditional family, and particularly with forcing, like, compelling Aryan women to give birth to Aryan children. Abortion was outlawed by the Nazi state for, uh, German women who they deemed to be of, like, proper stock and whatever. And, like, for minorities and stuff, the abortion was, like, mandatory. They didn't want them having kids, you know? Ah, no, you can't do that with a Mega, huh? Hmm. I actually actually kind of worked out. Ah, yes. Several participants also showed sympathy for the idea of a violent coup, also characteristic of Nazi behavior. That's the thing that the Nazis did, is they attempted a violent coup. They ultimately they took power through a non-coup like means. They were given power by the who was it, the president, whoever it was. I'm gonna start using this here. No, come on, dude. Ow. I'm getting Mario Karted. All because of that fake item box, man. Yeah. So, if you're in Germany, have fun while it lasts, I guess? I don't fucking know. Oh, of course. According to RTL, representatives of that youth league at the event did nothing to counter such statements. When asked, the AFD and JA is their youth wing, said that they would distance themselves from anti-constitutional and inhumane sentiments. So, we disavow, but also they didn't specify what they disavowed. So they could very well just be agreeing with the whole thing, but playing coy about, it, which I have no doubt that they are. The JA suggests that undercover agents from the Office for Protection of the Constitution intentionally made anti-constitutional statements without providing any evidence for this. Seems about right. Well, you're telling me that a Nazi party also lies and says that its political opponents are against the spirit of the nation? That's crazy. I'm just hearing about this. Ow. Damn it. Ow. Ow. For the love of... Ooh. Okay. Ah, that'll be good. And I got third, I think. Pretty decent. Alright, I'm looking for a different room. Truly incredible things happening in Germany. But now let's move on to the namesake of the stream. Now that I've found actually a pretty robust custom track worldwide's room. A little while ago, I think last stream or the stream before, I mentioned, no, it was last stream, I remember this. I mentioned that there was another right-wing extremist that had killed their own father because of some conspiracy bullshit. But at the time, I could not find the article for it. In the meantime, since then, I found the article. This one's from 19 hours ago, but I'm almost positive that this happened before then. Yeah, look, this covers events that happened on the 4th of February, so this had been reported from the Independent. This is where I found this article, at least. Conspiracy theorist accused of killing father was furious dad got vaccinated. So in the instance with the guy from Pennsylvania, he was mad that his dad was a Biden supporter and thus beheaded him, or rather killed and beheaded him in that order. And then this time, a man from Florida killed his dad because his dad had gotten presumably the COVID vaccine, or potentially any vaccine. You know, anti-vaxxers would be pretty crazy these days. And then below the headline, it says the arrest affidavit said the man had also started consuming cocaine, so he was high on drugs while doing so. Definitely what you want to hear. A man in Palm Beach County, Florida, because fucking where else except Florida, who was accused of beating his father to death last week, was called a delusional conspiracy theorist by a family friend. Based on an arrest affidavit, officials responded to a 911 call on the 4th of February from the family friend of Brian McGann Jr., who he had called during a domestic violence incident involving his father, Brian McGann Sr. The son reportedly arrived at his father's home around 11 p.m. that day. The complainant said she overheard Mr. McGann Sr. say, "Stop, you're killing me," as they were on the phone with McGann Jr. The caller said she thought the father was being attacked by his son. Mr. McGann Jr. appeared to be intoxicated and paranoid over the phone, the complainant said. Family friends said she could hear the son screaming at his father and violently attacking him. She also told police that the son was a, quote, delusional conspiracy theorist, and was infuriated with his father because he'd recently been vaccinated. The son had started using cocaine too, the friend had said. Yeah. When officers arrived at the father's residence, Mr. McGann Sr. was found lying unresponsive on the living room floor. Father's clothes were completely covered in blood, and he had sustained significant injuries to his face, which appeared to be swollen, battered, and bruised. Mr. McGann Sr. was pronounced deceased by officials the following day. I don't think that should have taken a whole day to determine, but yeah. When officers made contact with Mr. McGann Jr., he had blood all over him and was attempting to basically hop the fence and run from the cops, as it seems. So, that story is all very gruesome on its own. But, you know, why do I mention it, right? What's the point? The point is, once is a coincidence, right? Twice is a pattern. Like, of course, we saw that right wingers are not necessarily unwilling to attack people close to them. Like, there was the Pennsylvania guy, like I mentioned, that beheaded his own dad because his dad was a Biden supporter. And now we have a Florida man, aptly enough, it was a Florida man, who killed his own father, beat him to death in a very intoxicated and cocaine-fueled state, because his dad had been vaccinated, uh, and this is just going to be a thing now. I feel like this is going to be a new political thing where every now and again we just hear about some right-winger that killed a member of their family because they were, like, down some insane conspiracy rabbit hole. Like, this is... I'm not going to predict that this is, going to be a new normal for the right wing. But the ideology of the right wing in this country, right, necessarily leads to this consequence. If you were to draw conservatism in America to its logical conclusion on an individual, like, person-to-person basis, this is where it leads. People getting so paranoid, so fueled by, like, insane conspiratorial shit from, even at this point, mainstream conservative news outlets that are just on cable television, then there's going to be an epidemic of violence where there's a significant overlap between political motivations and mentally ill motivations, right? I mean, you know, as far as I can tell, we're already in the early stages of that. This is why you deplatform fascists, right? This is why fascists can't be allowed to have a platform to spread their conspiratorial narrative, because they have to get crazier and crazier to keep up that fervor, and this is where it leads. And if social media companies actually cared to follow through on their terms of service, they would ban people who say this kind of shit. Tucker Carlson wouldn't have a platform if people actually cared about enforcing the terms of service. But like I've mentioned a lot of times with you know, liberals and whatever, a lot of the people who are in charge of enforcing terms of service are ideologically in some ways liberal themselves. It's like they don't want to alienate their conservative user base. The problem is that their conservative user base has no problem, like, being the absolute most insane versions of themselves. Ah, god damn it. Sorry, Diddy Kong. Ooh, item box. Thank you. Okay. How do I want to play this? I think I just want to catch up as quickly as possible, ultimately. I think that's the play. Which means I need an item. Whatever happens, I need an item. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to just start using this here. That seems to have worked out, at least for the moment. In fact, I'm gonna use this right now, just so I can have red shell protection, even if I don't have blue shell protection. Holy shit! How did he make that snipe from a cart? And I'm in 7th, but I'm not too dissatisfied with my position with regards to the rest of the pack here. Never mind. I don't know how I got that kind of air that time and not any of the previous times. God, I did so well making up all that ground, and now look where I am. Oh, I got the shock. Get fucked. Alright, that puts me back in it to an extent. I gotta use this here. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's really good. I like that. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa! Okay, I'm alive. Do I get first? I think I do. Crash Bandicoot moment. Let's go next race. I like this room. Where, let's see. Do I want to conclude with anything? Do I want to say anything about that? I guess just conservatives are fucking insane now. Like, not that they haven't always been to some extent, but like, especially now that conspiracism is the new normal for the right wing. It's just like, that's just what's up, I guess. Like, we'll see. Look, there's two versions of that phrase I referred to earlier. There's once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern. But then there's also another version that says once is chance, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. So I guess as much as like this sounds like a fucking weird thing to say, we'll see if this happens a 3rd time. But I think even without that, I'm pretty confident that this is an ideological pattern on the right that people are so insane that they're willing to kill literal like members of their own family. And of course, if you alter the parameters of this a little bit, right? The right wing has been this conspiratorial for a long time. A lot of the school shooters that we've seen in recent memory, the prominent ones featured on the news, have been motivated by some flavor of right wing brain rot. You know, thinking in particular about the Club Q shooter and I think the Uvalde shooter. The Uvalde shooter was like a white supremacist or something. So, like, conservatives killing people as a product of their conservative politics fueling mental illness is not entirely new. But I think this particular flavor of it, where it is more intimate, interpersonal, and even transcends the boundaries of their own family, is definitely worth note. If nothing else. Whoa, what's that guy doing? Oh, he dodged the shock with that. Cheeky. It was a good bomb throw. That actually almost caught up to me, I think. Oh no. I was saving that mushroom. Trying out my hidden banana spots here, insofar as they really exist on certain custom tracks, you know? Oop. In that case, I'll take one of these. Sure thing. Very nice. I think I drove that race really well. Really, really well. Now... What else do I have? What else? Oh, let's see. The LAPD? Ah, yes. The LAPD. Are you guys ready for your daily dose of anti-bourgeoisie propaganda? As if that's not what my entire channel is. So, LA is a city in America. Unbelievable. Nobody can believe the words that I'm currently saying. Revelatory news. But anyways, it's also really fucking expensive to live there, right? So there's a lot of gentrification. There are very gentrified neighborhoods all over LA. In fact, LA itself is basically one giant cesspool of gentrification. And one microcosm of this, there was a apartment development at like a condo building. It didn't get finished, but it went up. I think there was a Hong Kong developer or a Chinese developer that was building this new apartment for really wealthy residents in LA. And it got abandoned because they ran out of money for the project. It was pretty silly, the manner in which they ran out of money too, but that's less important than what's now happening, I think, which is that you know, these buildings are just empty husks, and there's some graffiti on them now. Some brave soul who's a graffiti artist, or some brave souls, I guess, went up and decided to tag the buildings. Because, you know, nobody's in them, nobody's using them, they're not finished, they can't be used for anything, and they're just like, they're just kind of a mass of concrete sitting there, right? You know, might as well. And apparently, the LAPD did, you know, really, you know, they just weren't a fan of that. And so there's currently, like, well, I don't know if this is current, but definitely a couple days ago, they were having a helicopter fly around these buildings and, like, monitor them. Which is pretty wacky. Sorry, Sam. Dude, me and Sam are both driving so bad right now. Bouncing all over the place. Ow. Alright. Well, there goes my lead, but we'll see if I can't salvage this. Go wide, make sure that bullet doesn't hit me. Okay. Mushroom. I'd probably chain this. A fake item box in 4th. That's kind of wacky. Azzy Boy in 1st? What a legend, dude. My man's using Diddy Kong. Sticking it to the man right now. Ow. Well, there's worse places to get shocked, that's for sure. Ow, what the... That's wild. Alright. I'm gonna chain this mushroom here. And then use these here. Yes. Whew. And then use these leading up to this. And wow, okay, I salvaged first out of that. That was a very hard-fought race, I think. When you know it, 3 mushrooms 3 times in a row was just what the doctor ordered. Yeah, back to this story about this abandoned apartment building. You know, God forbid that people fucking beautify their city, right? You know, God forbid that LA has any fucking cultural character to it, right? It has to all be this high modernist, like, planned city of the future. Everybody lives in a giant, like, grandiose white marble apartment building. And by everybody, I mean the rich people, and then everybody else lives in the slums. Fucking hell, dude. And somebody pointed out that, like, that helicopter has to be fucking expensive, right? Why, like, why wouldn't you, from the perspective of, like, sensible investment or whatever, why wouldn't you just do something better with the land? Because, you know, that's clearly not the most effective use of money that could be had there, right? But of course, then the answer to that is like, well, we know why. Because they're not actually optimizing for sensible planning and use of money. Mostly what the bourgeoisie, what capital is interested in, is maintaining its relative position above labor and everybody else. So as a result, you get stupid shit like this. The bourgeoisie frequently do stupid things from the perspective of bringing benefit to society, but that is because bringing detriment to society is in the class interest of the bourgeoisie because they are detrimented less than everybody else. Therefore, doing bad things, which the bourgeoisie frequently do, brings a disproportionate benefit to them, where the gap between them and the you know, have-nots is widened. Well, I wanted to stay ahead of that guy in Star for the most part. What is this? Huh, okay. Interesting. Shortcut! God damn it! Rip. What? How is that targeting me? I was behind him. Maybe not on his screen, but still. Kind of wild. Alright. Item time. Where's the next item set? It's coming up, right? It's gotta be. Yeah, there it is. I didn't mean to use that. That sucks. There we go. Star, eh? I figure I could make use of that. Maybe chain it at the next item. Yeah. Ah, I had a feeling. No. Damn it. Okay. How'd you get that custom track? This is part of the CTGP. It's part of the pack. the distribution. No, Dio, you fucking asshole. Why didn't you throw that forward? Ah! Thank you for the follow, Erdman, 3. Ah, this race is, See, it didn't even benefit him. He got 8th. God damn. Rip. Oh well. Next race. Anyways, now that I've done anti-bourgeoisie propaganda, let's do anti-Trump propaganda. For example, did you know that Trump is bad? This is revolutionary. Ordinarily, I don't talk about Trump because it's like, what even is there new to talk about? My man is drowning in court cases and drowning in, like, legal expenses and debt and or political baggage and or being the only charismatic thing in the Republican Party. But this is interesting. There's an Atlantic article on this, but there's also a more concise tweet thread that's written by the same author that wrote the Atlantic news article, so I think I'll refer to that mostly. About Trump's correspondences with Stephen Miller. You guys might remember him if you paid really close attention, but you might not have. This guy was like a top Trump advisor during his presidency, and he had some, let's just say he had some choice things to say about immigrants, as is the sort of prerogative of Trump and his ilk. You know, that was one of the things that got Trump popular in the first place, is his very, very reactionary stance on immigration, but they seem to be kicking it up a notch lately. If I get the occasion to do so, I will take a look at the thread where their conversation was summarized, but it's not good. It's really not good. And it's even more not good than the typical Trump rhetoric on the issue of immigration. At least I didn't fall off. Give me that. Ooh, the best item. I'm gonna just start using this now. Might not be the 100% best place to use it, but see, I was afraid of a shock potentially happening, and you know, sometimes I just run into a green shell. Alright, let's try this again. No shock, please. Oh my god! I'm gonna count my lucky stars there. No, for the love of... We get 5th, I think. Alright. That was frustrating. I feel like there was so much that could have easily gone my way, and I feel like all of it, like... Things are lining up perfectly to be a bad experience today, it seems like. Anyways, this conversation between Trump and Stephen Miller. Let's see. From Ronald Brownstein? Is that his name? Yeah, Ronald Brownstein wrote this article. He also wrote a tweet thread summarizing the same content that can be found in the article. Trump told NRA. I don't know what that particular NRA is. I don't think it's the like Rifle Association. I think it's some other group, some Republican group. On Friday, Trump told them that his mass deportation program would begin, quote, within moments of taking office. To do at scale would likely require 150 to 200,000 law enforcement officers. And so Trump was talking to Stephen Miller about how to effectively implement this mass deportation plan. To round up migrants, Miller said, Trump would dispatch forces to, quote, go around the country arresting illegal immigrants in large-scale raids. Then it would build large-scale staging grounds near the border, most likely in Texas, to serve as internment camps for migrants. From these camps, the administration would schedule constant flights returning migrants to their home countries. Miller says, you create this efficiency by having these standing facilities where planes are moving off the runway constantly, probably military aircraft in some existing DHS airspaces. Or some existing DHS assets, excuse me. Basically using the sort of shadow of a framework that already exists, but formalizing its use to arrest migrants en masse and deport them back to their country of origin, or I guess presumed country of origin in many cases. You know, there are many ways that can go wrong, and even when it goes right, it is going wrong because of, like, you know, I will give everybody an ample amount of time to think what other comparison could possibly be made to a regime that rounds up ethnic minorities for the sake of putting them in internment camps and deporting them and things like that. You know, I wonder if there's any example in history that could potentially be invoked where you know, similar things happened. Yo, what's up, 1v3? Some crazy shit is happening today. I was just talking about Trump and Stephen Miller now planning to actually do an ethnic cleansing in the United States. Hello, DKSC for life. Welcome to chat. Surprised it's your first time chat. I think I saw that you followed the other day, but you know. I don't know, I shouldn't assume. Not everybody has the time, you know. So, this marks an interesting, what I just read about, like, Trump and some of his advisors talking about, like, mass deporting migrants is an interesting milestone, because in 2016, right, Trump talked a lot about, you know, Mexico, they're not sending their best. They're sending the looters, the Marxists, the anarchists, the communists, and people who, in many cases, quite frankly, have no clue what they are doing. That's me, by the way. I'm the anarchist, looter, Marxist, communist, etc. But, you know, it's pretty, like, standard anti-immigration rhetoric for the time. But it's been escalating, you know, recently. Like, one of the new mainstream Republican talking points is invading Mexico. Mexico, of course, being an ally of the United States. So, you know, that's definitely gonna go well. Definitely could not go poorly. You know, couldn't be me. But I guess now the sort of rhetoric has escalated again. Even declaring war on a country that we're allied to is not enough for the right. Now they've gone to openly posting about ethnic cleansing. Here we go. They continue here. Miller offered 2 scenarios for enlisting National Guard troops and removing migrants. That guy has 3.6 thousand followers? Really? That's interesting. One would be in states where GOP governors want to cooperate. You go to the red state governors and you say, give us your National Guard. We will deputize them as immigration enforcement officers. Okay. The second scenario, yes, another worrying bit here. The second scenario, Miller said, would involve sending National Guard forces from nearby Republican-controlled states into what he called an unfriendly state whose governor would not willingly join the deportation program. If you're going to go into an unfriendly state like Maryland, well, there would just be Virginia doing the arrest in Maryland, right, very close, very nearby. Yeah, this is part of the if I'm remembering right, this is actually part of the Project 2025 playbook for Republicans, basically using the force of the administrative state and the National Guard to subjugate unfriendly states that do not pursue or that choose not to pursue their immigration agenda in particular, in this case. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I don't really know what to say about this, except this is now this is this actually mirrors the AFD rhetoric that I was talking about earlier. The AFD was talking about putting migrants in literal ghettos and internment camps so that they could later be deported back to their home countries. And here we have Trump and the Republicans talking about something similar. In this case, doing raids on migrant communities to forcibly deport them back to their countries of origin. And this is one of the many reasons why, if Republicans win another election in the United States, this country's cooked. Ow, asshole. What? No way I got wheelie bumped on the one frame, dude. That was a really high drop. Alright, let's try to recover here. Give me this. Nice. I'll take that. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I'm actually in a pretty favorable position now compared to earlier. No! Oh my god, dude. You and me both, Dio. Holy. Give me something. Okay. Okay. That's something. I think I'm gonna chain this at the... Well, I have to use it here, so... Oh, nice. Lucky break? Question mark? Nice. Got first for once. Well, for once. I got first a few times earlier. But, I think that was a good race. I raced the second lap basically perfectly. I feel like my situational awareness isn't as good as it usually is, and that's probably because of the shitty weather and it's like slowing me down and whatever. Anyways. Yeah, yeah, you know, looking back on the conversation between Trump and Miller, it wouldn't be underselling it to say that if Trump wins and if Republicans win, we would see the largest ethnic cleansing in the history of this country, in the history probably of potentially of the Western Hemisphere, with the exception, I believe, of the Holocaust. Like that would be the only one that tops this. But, you know, that's if Trump wins, so. God damn it. I have to I'm back to fucking square one in like where I was in 2020. I'm gonna have to turn up my nose and vote for Joe Biden. They could fucking at this point I would almost prefer if they wheeled his corpse out on stage and he just said nothing. Definitely like a well, maybe not a Hitler versus Mussolini moment, but I don't know. Hitler versus Hindenburg? God damn, he almost made that jump. Okay. That was actually a pretty smart proc. Didn't really mean to give up both of those items, but whatever. Oh, he tried to bomb me too? What an asshole. Wait, what? Who's getting a red shell back there? Hello? The fuck? How did they make that? Okay, whatever. You know what? I'm gonna wait till I've rounded this corner and then I'm gonna use this golden. Like so. Oh, you fucking asshole! God damn. Oh, and he tried to add insult to injury too, dickhead. God damn. I drove that so well to get next to last. What went wrong? Okay. There was one thing that I think narrowed the gap between myself and second place enough for the blue shell to functionally do me in. And then after that, it was all happenstance and fucking people using items to hit me specifically because, you know, I just got hit and then, like, you get Mario Karted. That's what it was, I think. And, you know, Diddy Kong being an asshole. He's already going as fast as me in the Mega. Minus 137? That's not really what I care about. What I care about is the, like, extremely frustrating surrounding circumstances that, like... That is a lot? Yeah, I know. Look, I can run laps about, I can run laps around some max VR players, and there are 6,000 VR players that can run laps around me. This is not an accurate indicator of skill. In fact, I have more respect for the people that have 6,000 VR and play this game. What I'm concerned about is that it almost seems like, even when I feel like I'm making good decisions, I'm getting punished for it. And that's frustrating. Because in this game, even though, like, I'm usually good at acknowledging when there is an element of luck and where that element of luck could come in to hurt me or help me at a given time. But today it seems like I'm not as good at seeing that. Helado Mountain. Okay. Paradoxically, I feel like it would almost help more to have less situational awareness. It'd be like caring about my surroundings less and just be focusing more on how I'm driving. I'll try that this race, but I don't know if it'll get any, I don't know if it'll help any. Just no wheelie. Wheelie here, that's fine. Okay. Got him. I could probably throw this now. Just in the name of having this other item out. Yeah. Oh, that one actually... Okay. I'm just gonna hold this red shell, I think. Until, you know, there's another item and stuff. Mushroom, eh? Hmm. Okay. I think holding onto this mushroom is a good decision here, because then I can use it here. Yeah. Oh my god, okay. I looked away for half a second and that happened. Alright, Stig, you can hang out up there. That's fine! God damn it. So you get people like that who go out of their way to hit you, you know? God damn. I wish I didn't have to play with fucking hunts like that. But I do, and that's the world we live in, so... Three mushrooms. One mushroom. Not ideal, but... Oh, did I bump that guy off? I bumped that guy. Yeah. At this point, I'm holding out this blue shell out of spite. Alright. Got him. Third, I think. Building my own hometown in survival creative. Oh, wow, that's cool. +1, we take those. Yeah. Another thing I saw recently. So, I say so a lot, just to preface things. You guys remember that a little while ago. Well, people who are channel regulars will remember I talked a little bit about Venezuela acting very jingoistically with respect to Guyana, their very small neighbor, because they want that oil. But at the time, it didn't seem like it amounted to anything. They didn't invade yet. I mean, they voted to invade, but the government didn't go through with it. Now we're actually seeing a proper troop buildup on the border between Venezuela and Guyana. And it seems like they might make a move. Yeah, according to satellite imagery, as per the Guardian. Venezuela is expanding military bases near its border with Guyana and deploying forces to the jungle frontier as President Nicolas Maduro ramps up his threats to annex the country's oil-rich neighbors. Satellite images have revealed. He's been wishy-washy on the issue. He has pledged to not take military action when talking to like an international audience, but then at home he's been using like the jingoistic rhetoric. Ultimately, this in some ways seems pretty reminiscent of the Russian troop buildup on the Ukrainian border leading up to that war breaking out, right? It seemed kind of like a similar thing. And we know how the Russian troop buildup ended is Russia declared war on Ukraine. They invaded. That's how that all went down. I mean, to be fair, we're Guyana. I do anything to not get into Venezuelan hands. Don't want to have to wipe my ass with Venezuelan dollars. Look, Guyana actually isn't really doing anything here. Like, what can they even do, right? Except see how this goes. The international community isn't going to defend Ghana, right? And at this point, I think that actually plays a part in why Venezuela is acting the way that they are, you know? We saw the reaction to Russia invading Ukraine was actually kind of weak sauce from Europe. You know, like the aid was a little bit wishy-washy and things like that. Nice try, Dio. And of course, with Israel, the United States now has a new favorite toy, which means there's actually a lot less aid coming from America recently going into Ukraine. And so it's like there's some dominoes falling on the international stage where a lot of regional conflicts have been breaking out, and things have been getting more unstable on a regional level. Meanwhile, the United States is only selectively applying certain military doctrine, and like what I'm trying to get at is it seems like the rules-based international order that the United States was all in on in the early 2000s seems to be decaying because more and more countries realize that the United States does not apply those rules with any real degree of consistency. Like America will apply the rules in some respect to countries that it doesn't like, but we will not apply those rules to countries that we are allied with. So probably some version of what happened was Venezuela kind of took note of Russia invading Ukraine, and then decided that would be a good time for them to test the waters with like building up on the Guianan border. And they also saw things like Azerbaijan invading Armenia and Israel invading the Gaza Strip, and China posturing with regards to Taiwan, and the United States A, having its hands full, B, not willing to intervene quite the same way it used to, or not, like, generally not willing to apply the rules to its allies, ergo probably less willing also to apply the rules to geopolitical opponents, and generally took note that, like, because the current, like, geopolitical order of things is headed by liberals as opposed to fascists or as opposed to socialists, the order of the day is to do nothing. I've explained this before. Liberals have an ideological predilection to sit on their hands, to not do anything, because they're institutionalists. And they haven't needed to do stuff for quite a while. Let's see, there were some exceptions with this in the early 2000s, in the 1990s, when neocons were in charge. Neocons still being liberals in some stripe, but being a lot more willing to act on the international stage, mostly through military action, sanctions, very forceful, and frankly pretty unhelpful things. But it scared enough countries in line that, like, there was sort of a chilling effect that pervaded for a few decades. Now that chilling effect is sort of melting, right? Because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, because of Israel, Palestine, and whatever. And because there are no more neocons, they're just fascists and liberals, and the liberals are in charge. The United States is doing nothing. Europe is doing basically nothing. And countries that have regional geopolitical interests that they might have otherwise wanted to act on have noticed that and decided, well, what if we just invaded anyway? It's not like the UN is going to stop us. It's not like the United States is going to stop us. It's not like the EU is going to stop us. Not like NATO is going to stop us because we're not invading a NATO ally. That's like the one vestige of neoconservatism or like the old wave of more jingoistic internationalism that might actually matter here. And so the world outside of the NATO bloc is becoming increasingly unstable. And to a degree, even within the NATO bloc, because, countries are experiencing internal instability. So at the end of all that, I think Venezuela is gonna, in some measure, go through with this. Because, like, what is the United States gonna do? Probably nothing. Because that's all the liberals can think of doing. And of course, conservatives would be like, they would be too insane to form a coherent response. Conservatives are too busy talking about mass deporting migrants from the United States and invading Mexico. Like, what are they going to do to Venezuela? Like, realistically, they would, even if they chose to intervene in any way that would be tantamount to, like, a proper response, it would be so unhinged in the way that they, like, conduct it all, that they would, like, incur massive backlash politically from the international community. And fascists, as insane as they are not immune to political backlash internationally. In fact, one of the key things about fascism is that they depend on the support of international capital. So basically, it seems like the relative period of peace that happened at the end of the 20th century and going into the 21st century was kind of like an aberration. It was like an unusual phenomenon that's now coming to an end. I mean, and I can only hope that, maybe things don't play out the only realistic way that they could play out according to a materialist analysis. But at the end of the day, this is a materialist analysis. I have no reason to have that hope. I have no reason to expect anything to play out in a way other than I've predicted, with Venezuela invading Guyana and the world being like, oh no, that's crazy. Don't do that. That's against the human rights. And then doing jack shit. Whoa, what the is there a wall there? Oh, man, that was, could have gone badly. I'll let this guy have first. I don't want to get blue shelled. Like, I really don't want to get blue shelled. Oh, okay. What the fuck? Why did he do that? Oh, dude. Well, at least I'm gonna be big now. I just don't know whether or not it's gonna... Ah, I see. I don't know what place I got. You know what? I think I'll make that into a segment, if nothing else. Uh... Yeah, it just seems like the movement towards fascism is also like happening globally. Poor Guyana? Yeah. Poor Guyana. Poor everybody, really. Poor global proletariat. You know, it used to be a thing that like regional wars were really common. And everybody would just be getting fucked all the time. But for about 50 years in the 20th century, you know, going into the 21st century, that wasn't as much the case, but now it is again. Because like I said, that chilling effect is gone. You know, it like for a while it was like we don't want to offend the world police that is America, right? As much as the world police shtick is like not exactly desirable and it's jingoistic, it is in its own, in some ways fascistic. Like that deterred war from breaking out in some regions for some time. There are better ways of doing that, but that was what we had. And then now that's gone and it's not replaced with anything better. And now we get like more instability, more regional wars. They're like, and I'll maintain my prescription that this isn't going to be World War III, or I guess my prediction. You know, the World War III isn't going to break out because it is in nobody's interest for World War III to break out. You know, the capital class needs there to be a world in order to profit from it. So they don't want World War III. We all don't want to die, presumably, so we don't want World War III. So it's just going to be regional wars. Anyways. I wanted to cut that segment earlier. I'll figure out where to cut it, but yeah, those are my thoughts on the matter. Ah, I see. I got target shocked into the tiny gap. I could have read Sheldon, but I'm not gonna. I didn't because I'm feeling nice this race. This is the unfortunate part of driving a kart is that you just can't like outstrip the bikes forever. Eventually, they're gonna catch up. You know. Okay. I'm in first now. Cool. Je maintiens prêt. Oh. Ah, that was a really good attempt at a snipe. That was a big mistake, me hitting that thwomp, but I still got first. I only had one more thing to talk about, I think. Yeah, okay. And it was about Gaza. A big surprise. That's still happening. Man, I don't think I need to set the stage. People probably already know how the stage is set for this. You know? But recently there was a development where... Let's see, if I go to the Hill here... The Biden administration attaches human rights conditions to U.S. military aid, easing democratic rift over Israel. Basically, there were some conditions attached. There were some strings attached to the latest aid bill to Israel that I think within 45 days. Yeah, here we go. Biden's order has immediate effect. It gives Secretary of State Blinken 45 days to obtain, quote, credible and reliable written assurances from foreign recipients of U.S. military aid that are in active conflicts, which includes Israel and Ukraine, that they are using U.S. military assistance in compliance with, I think, human rights norms and, like, international law, or that we will withdraw that aid. Initially, I saw this and I was like, you know what? This is better than nothing. I will take it. Right? I thought, like, look, something is better than nothing, right? But as it turns out, this was basically nothing masquerading as something slightly more than nothing. There was a press conference about this, as there is about, like, most issues after the president announces something, does something, says something, you know. And the press secretary, you know, was asked about this, and she gave a response that was not exactly promising from my perspective. You know, the Biden admin thinks that it's pretty damn promising, but when have I ever trusted the Biden administration to set the terms correctly for international politics? And, you know, I really haven't. Basically, there was the interview. Oh, I've been disconnected. Let's see this interview actually. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says Israel assured that they will give a report back in 45 days if they violated international law, despite the IDF reporting back proudly documenting war crimes for everybody to see, including on Telegram channels. This is from a news outlet that I'm not familiar with, Flow, but it was accompanied by footage of Karine Jean-Pierre saying as much, that they would accept a written report from Israel. Basically, like, You better not be committing any human rights abuses. And then Israel said, oh, yeah, we'll investigate ourselves and likely find no evidence of wrongdoing. And the Biden admin said, okay, that's good enough. Ay, ay, ay. Genocide Joe moment. So even on a political layup where the United States could just as easily say, look, stop the genocide right now, pull all your forces out of Gaza, stop bombing, stop doing all of that, and you don't get another dime. Like if you don't stop right now, you don't get another dime. There was a potential for that to be in there, but instead they were like, yeah, you have 45 days to assure us that you're not breaking any rules here. And then they said, oh yeah, we'll investigate ourselves. To which, of course, the response from Israel will be, yeah, we found no evidence of wrongdoing here, and you know, report back, and the Biden administration would be like, okay, all right, here's the money. Well, we tried, guys. And they said they aren't breaking any rules, so isn't that convenient for all parties involved except for fucking Palestine? You know? I would say it's disappointing, but it's really not. I've come to expect this. Uh, it's almost like nation states are patently indifferent to human interests and are more interested in geopolitical and economic interests for their ruling classes, uh, and or rather the perceived interests to that effect. And in the United States' case, that means supporting Israel throughout the entirety of this genocide, even though it means that the United States probably severs all good relations that it had with any countries that were remotely sympathetic to Palestine. It's pretty bad, gotta say. But like I said about liberals, they're abstemious to a fault. Their entire ideology revolves around conformism to existing norms and institutions, and doing absolutely nothing, especially in the face of unprecedented circumstances. You know, the modern liberal has never had to contend with the possibility of a genocide being committed by an allied country. You know, we've dealt with the possibility of a genocide being committed by a geopolitically ambivalent or hostile country. Such was the case with uh, the Yugoslav wars, where rightly so, NATO actually intervened and said, you know what, no, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop you from bombing, ethnic minorities. Particularly, I think Bosnians and Croats were some of the most disproportionately targeted. But in this case, Israel is our ally, and they're doing a genocide. So we allow that because, again, perceived interests and unprecedented. Liberals don't do anything. It's their job to not do anything. They love not doing anything. It's their favorite pastime. Race pretty good, that race. That track's really short, so not that hard to race well there, but, you know. Very front-runny track as well. Even though there's that shortcut in the, middle of the track there. Probably, I'll do... I'll be real, I only have the energy for one more race, so I might not go the full 2 hours. But I think this has been a good stream regardless. Despite the races not going well and me getting blown up several times, sometimes literally, and, Mario Karted on various occasions. I guess on days like today, that's just how it goes. Where my reflexes aren't there, my judgment isn't quite there in like snap moments. How sad? Yeah, I guess. Look. Yeah. Today's just a very low-key day. You know, it's Sunday. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's Super Bowl Sunday. My dad's gonna be excited for that. I don't watch football, though. It's, who is it? It's like the Chiefs and somebody else. I don't care enough to know. I just hope the Chiefs win because it will make a lot of conservatives very mad. It's not like a very active aspiration that I have, but, yeah. It's not, I'm not, you know, to be clear, it's not like when conservatives say, I hope X thing happens because it will make liberals mad, and that's like their entire political identity. I think it would be funny if the Chiefs won because conservatives would be mad about such an insignificant thing like, oh boy, this team won a sporting event that is vaguely tied to a celebrity that I don't like or what. You know, that usually seems quite silly. Like I said, I don't watch football. Sometimes it actually makes me like a little bit uncomfortable to watch football because like a main part of that game is people getting hurt, and like it seems like pretty badly hurt at that. You know. You know, even with all that padding and the helmets and whatnot, you know, that stuff is not good for you. Good attempt. No, what the fuck? I got wheelie locked. Hopefully I'll get to show off some of the hidden banana spots and stuff that I know this lap. Here, if you put one here, they won't be able to see it. Delightfully devilish, Seymour. That was a really well-placed fake item. But I didn't hit it, so that's good. Oh no. Yeah, okay. Alright. That was a really well-driven race by me. The one mistake that I shouldn't have succumbed to was failing to dodge that POW. That was pretty dumb. On the other side, American football is much more like gentlemen playing out here in Europe. They always try to argue with the judges and always act over dramatic. They're a keeper from some Benelux team, which one I don't know anymore, but he played less than half the time he was supposed to. Yeah, that is true. American football players tend to have more respect for the calls of the referee and the judges than like soccer players do. That is definitely something that I will agree with. Yeah, it's just soccer. Soccer for the most part is, I think, a more entertaining sport for me to watch because there's a lot more. First of all, there's a lot more uptime, but then also people clearly aren't getting hurt as bad to such an extent that it's even a meme that like, oh, people pretend to get hurt when they're not actually hurt in soccer. But yeah, there are those aspects to it as well where players will try to like I'll try to argue with the ref, and I've seen some pretty funny occasions where the ref will pull out a yellow card for the player trying to like really fervently argue with them on whether or not the call was correct. Anyways. I wonder who's live right now. No. That's not... Oh, wait, Lumiru is live. Yeah. They're playing Baldur's Gate. I see. I've never played that game, but I like Lumiru, so have fun with them. Raid Lumiru. I might be back on Tuesday. I'm not sure. I have work this week, so we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching.